Okay, so in today's lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to look at subclipping using your in and out points on Premiere and what you can do with your source panel, because we really haven't played around with that. The source panel gives you a lot of options to kind of cut up and edit your film before you actually put it in the timeline. So that's what we're going to play around with here. Now, what I need you to do is have Premiere Pro open, and I need you to have your Week 5 zip downloaded. So if you've got that, you'll be good to go. So let's go over here and let's actually look at what we're doing. Move me into the corner. So if you've downloaded Week 5 zip, we're going to be playing around with this for a couple of lessons. So I want you to hold on to this file and kind of lock in where it is. So I've dragged it to my desktop here as a zip file, and I'll double click on it. Inside of that double click, there will be another folder called Week 5. I'm just going to drag that to my desktop. There it goes. And that'll have all of those clips that I need for this lesson. At this point, you can delete the zip, any other files that you have other than this. Now, I'm going to go to Premiere, and I'm going to go to import this media. And actually, excuse me, I need to exit out entirely because we need to start a new project here. So when Premiere comes up, it's going to say a couple of things. I get this screen system compatibility report. Just click continue with known issue. As it loads up here, it's going to come up and start a new project for you. You're going to get the option to start a new project. We've done this before, but you're going to do this a lot, so I need to make sure that this locks into your memory here. So I want you to hit New Project, and right here, we're going to name this project Week 5. Alright, location is the most important part of working in Premiere, having things set in the right folder. Remember, every project has to have a root folder in which you put all of your files in that folder and then bring them here. The reason being, when you submit this to me, you're going to submit the whole folder. You're going to send me a zip file with the whole folder attached. Now, if something's missing out of that folder, it's not going to show up in my grading. You're going to lose points. It's not a good look. So right here, I'm going to hit Browse. I'm going to go to my desktop, and there's Week 5. I'll select that folder. You should see Week 5 right here. Double check just to make sure your scratch disks are going to the same place. These are all your auto saves and backups that you might have throughout this entire project. And then hit OK. Now once here, we've got our basic editing workspace, and that's what I want you in, editing up here. If it looks different from mine, you can click these little 3 lines next to editing and hit reset to save the layout. Now, I will double click on the import media, and I will go to my desktop and look for Week 5. I'm going to open all of these files here. So I'm going to click on one, hold shift, click on the last one, and hit open. That'll import these files in for me. Now, anytime you're starting a new project, the first thing you want to do is double check, and I'm just going to move this little scroll bar here. I want to double check my actual size of my videos. Mine are all 1080 here that I sent you. When you're recording on your phone, you're going to end up with 720s, 1080s, or even larger files if you set it on HD or Ultra HD or 4K or whatever you set it to. So make sure whatever the bulk of your videos is the first video you drag in. Make sure it's not a vertical video. It should be a horizontal video every time. So there, I've made it. I'll delete that off the timeline, but you'll see this project panel or program panel now has a black bar in it. If you look in your project panel, you'll now have a new file. It's green, called whatever you dragged in. This is your actual sequence. I want you to click on that, and I want you to type in the word sequence. Okay. Now, what we're going to start doing is cutting up film not in the timeline, in the source panel. So let's start on base 01. I want you to double click on that so that it pops up here. Now, there are a few different things you can do in this, okay? If you look at the buttons underneath, that's just a small section of the amount of buttons you can utilize. If you hit this plus symbol here, there are even more buttons that you can play around with. Each one of these does something different, moves things in a different way, so don't get overwhelmed by them. Now, next thing I want to do is I want to create a place where we're going to put all of our subclips, and that's called a bin. Looks like a folder called a bin. Don't ask why. Now, down here in the bottom right of your project panel, you'll see a couple of items, a little magnifying glass, a folder, and an item to create a new item. You might not see all of these. If you don't, you're going to want to hit the button that's called tilde. It's just to the left of the number 1. It kind of has a little squiggly thing like that. If I click on that, it'll full screen that panel. So whatever panel I'm on, if I hit that tilde, it'll make it full screen for me if I need that extra space. And if I don't see the new items and the sequence down here, the folder bin, down here, hit tilde, you should see it down here. Alright, but I see mine. So I'm going to click on that folder one time. It's going to come in called bin. I want to name this Subclips. Alright. Now you can see you're starting to get a little bit of a confusing layout here. So I'm going to hit another one of these folders and I'm going to call this, I don't want to have Subclips selected when I do that, excuse me. I'm going to call this sequence, or just SEQ will be fine. And I'll drag that sequence into that SEQ folder. If you want to like recolor this or alter this, you can. There are ways to play around with it, but for right now I'm just going to leave it like it is. Now with the subclip folder selected, notice that the arrow's pointed down. There's nothing in it, so it doesn't matter if it's opened or closed. These are our original files, okay, and you generally put them in a bin as well, but I'm not going to worry about it. I want you to put your pointer finger on the letter J and your ring finger on the letter L on your keyboard. Now with your middle finger, I want you to move up just a little bit and look at the I and O. The I and O are close right there. They are going to stand for our ins and outs. And I want to show you what that looks like. So if I need, ooh, gracious, let me turn my audio down here. If I need just a piece of a clip, so let's say I want just this fade back here. I'll place my clip, my playhead in the source panel right here at this spot. You have options underneath to mark these ins and outs as well, but it's easier just to use the shortcuts on the keyboard because your fingers should already be there. So I want you to hit I, and you'll see this little gray line come up. Move your playhead down a little bit. Let's just call it a couple seconds here. And I want to mark an out point. Now when I do that, I have now set up just this section of this clip to move. Okay. Now underneath, I've got some options that will allow me to move to the beginning or end of my in and out points. I'll see play. I'll see skip one frame at a time. I'll also have options to insert this. So if you hover your mouse over here, I don't know why mine's not showing up, but it should tell you what these buttons are exactly. Insert and overwrite. So when I hit insert here, what's going to happen is it's only going to bring into the timeline the area that I had subclip, the area that I had marked with my in and out point. So now it plays off, and that's the only section that I needed for the time being. Okay. Now with this up here, let's say I wanted to save this clip over here. Let's say I've got an hour long of footage, but I only need chunks and pieces out of the whole thing. I don't need to sit there and edit the hour over and over again. I'll go through and I'll find what's good, and I'll save that for a little later. Okay, so I'm going to delete this section here. I want you to click on that Subclips bin and then click back at your source panel. Now, it's important that you have this blue box around whatever panel you're working in, otherwise it won't do what you want it to do. Okay. The shortcut to make a subclip is Command U. Notice it's right beside the in and out points. If you're on a PC like me, it's Control U. So I'm going to hit Control U, and it's going to give me an option to make a subclip. I'm going to call this base fade out. And I'm going to look right here underneath it. It's going to say restrict trims to subclip boundaries. I'm going to make two of these. I'm going to leave one checked and one unchecked so you can see the difference. So I'm going to leave that checked. There's my subclip. Notice it looks a little different from the rest of my clips. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit Command U or Control U again. And this time I'm just going to call this base unrestricted. All right, and then uncheck that restrict timeline and hit OK. Now, both of these look the same. They're the same clip. If I drag them in on top of each other, you'll notice that they do the exact same thing. They look the exact same. But if I grab that unrestricted and pull it out, it will allow me to see the rest of the footage if I want. If I restrict it, it won't let me do that. So I can't go back and edit it. So what I recommend is always leaving it restricted. The problem is it will make your files a little larger. It'll make your Premiere a little more prone to crashing. But it does give you the option. So keep it unrestricted wherever possible. Okay? I'm going to delete those out. Now, I want you to go in, and I'm going to leave these here, but I'm going to go in and do something a little different. I want you to go in here and I want you to find 2 seconds of each clip that you like. Now, how do you know it's 2 seconds? You have to keep an eye right here on this setup. Okay, this is your time on the video. I know it says 1 hour, 1 minute, right? 51 seconds, 1 frame. The reason that's so long is because that's the camera it was filmed in. This was at an hour of filming into this camera. Now, if you want a little bit better read on this, you just kind of get to a spot where it's an even second right there. Mark your end point, and you can always hit I and O to kind of fix it. I'm going to go to the 153 mark and 0 frames, and I'm going to mark my out point. Now, notice I don't have my Subclips folder selected. I need to do that. And then I need to hit Control U, and I'm going to call this base 2 sec. Alright, so there's my base with 2 seconds. Let's go ahead and get another subclip of this same bass player. We're going to go a little further out, find a spot, hit I, go a little further down, get that 2 second mark. See if it'll go. If you're struggling to get right on the 2 second, hold K on your keyboard and just tap L. That'll move you a frame at a time. Out, Control U, base 2 sec, 0.1. How you name your files is completely up to you. I will tell you that naming your files is essential. A lot of people don't name their files, and what they end up with is a bunch of crap that's all named the same thing. And it's a little hard to tell what's what and where's where, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you're naming your files. Alright, I'm going to double click on the drums. I'm going to pull him up, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm looking for 2 different clips that are 2 seconds long, and I'm going to use right about here to mark my end. And in fact, if you want to make this easy, you can click right here, type in the 2 second, and then mark your out point. Once you've got it, Command U, drum 1 is what I'm going to call this. I'm going to go a little further down when we got this red going. And 1, out, Command U, drum 2. Alright, so I want you to do this. Yeah, dum 2, that's it. I want you to do this for each one of your clips. Now be careful, because if you look right here, you can see my subclip folder was not selected. So when I made those drums, it didn't go into the right place. Guitar, I'll need 2 seconds. This is solidly one of the goofiest looking dudes I've ever seen in my life. You'll see it a little better a little later when we play around with more of this footage. He's got some weird moves. So I'm going to select my subclip folder, Command U. I'm just going to say G1 for guitar 1. And you can see you can name these whatever you want. It's really about gaining an understanding of what it is. As long as you understand what it is, then it's okay. If you're working in a team, because a lot of times these files are big, people will work in teams on these. If you're working in teams, you might need to name things a little bit more specifically. G2. And then the last one down here is the vocals. Now the vocals is key because it is huge. It's not these 20-second clips you see here. These are much larger. So I don't really care where you find here. Just get your 2 second mark here. Mark your in. 41. Mark your out. Make sure subclips are selected. Control U. V1. here, same thing. I mark my in, get my 2 seconds, mark my out. Control U and V2. Alright, so I've got all my clips. I've got 8 separate clips here. I want to grab all of these and drag these in. So I'm going to click on V2, whichever your bottom one is or top one, it doesn't matter. Hold shift and click on the opposite side to select all of your subclips and drag them in to your timeline like this. Bam. Now, as simple as that, I've got all of these clips in a line, organized, put together. Now, what we're going to do with these afterwards is we're going to play around a little bit with them. But there is something that I've noticed a lot of you struggling with that I want to go ahead and kind of clarify. In your timeline, if you look, there is this yellow or even red line right here. This is talking about your render speed. So if I click play right here, there's a possibility, because this is yellow, that in my program monitor I'm going to lose a couple of frames here and there as it goes. Okay, so I might be losing a frame here and there. You're not going to notice it with your eyes, but if you rendered it finally and you had like a professional quality movie, this could be a real problem. So we need to fix it. There's 2 ways. You can either hit enter on your keyboard and render the whole thing, but as soon as you move something, it's going to have this same yellow line. Another way, let's say I need to work specifically on this one area right here, this transition between these two. And in fact, I'll throw a quick effect on it just so you can see what that red would look like. Okay, guess no red. Alright, so let's say I need to render that fade right there. What I would do is I would hit I on my timeline and O out to mark that in and out point. And then at the very top of your screen, you should be able to go to Edit. Oop, I'm lying to you. Oh, Sequence, excuse me. Sequence, Render, In to Out. So it's going to render whatever that in to out is. It's going to read all those clips and it's going to make sure they run smoothly. When you click off, it's going to have that green line now. One problem you're going to have is that in and out's going to want to stick. It's going to want to stay there. If you right click on it or control click, you can hit clear in and out point. So that goes away. Now that green area will run as smooth as any of it. That'll be the smoothest part of it. Now a lot of you are running on less than perfect computers right now. I get that. So if you're having struggles where this is not reading properly at all, right here to the right underneath it, look for the word full. It may be set to half. Go down to a quarter. You don't need to see perfect resolution up here to know what you're doing. If you hit play here at a quarter, it might look a little fuzzy. It'll be about a quarter of the quality of what it was. But it'll run smoothly, which is key, right? So make sure you have that set up as well. Now, back in our project, we've got all of our subclips set up. We're set up and ready for our next assignment. I'll delete this cross dissolve. What I want to see in this is your subclip panel, and it should have multiple clips in it. Okay, they should be subclips. You can tell based on this little icon right here. And I want you to have dragged all of those in a line to your timeline. Now, you can always edit and change your workspace inside of Premiere. So what I'm going to do is right here to the right of my project panel, I'm going to drag this little thing up a little bit. And you'll see here where it allows me to see my full subclip panel. It'll shorten everything up and it'll allow me to see my timeline better. This is where I want you to take your screenshot today. So take your screenshot of this right here so I can see your subclip bin and I can see your subclips inside of it. When you're done and you've taken your screenshot, right here next to editing, hit that 3 lines, reset to saved layout. Turn that into today's lesson, and in the next one we'll move on to coloring these different clips. See you in the next one.